to episode 21 of TemTalk, your weekly podcast dedicated to the creature collection MMO Temtem. By the way, Kennedy, that is the correct intro lead-in. I think you got it wrong twice last week while I was gone.
No further questions.
So I am back. I'm back from my early retirement.
I feel like the Temtem hype though, of just like when we jump in, it's just like, yeah, Temtem, yeah. I'm right there with you.
You guys did have beautiful singing last week, though.
I mean that was mostly Dan and Kennedy. I did not participate.
Gaijin's too cool to make his own intro music. No, I have to say shout out for Dan coming in clutch with the intro music last week.
I should officially say I'm joined as always by Kennedy and Gaijin Boo, of course, as you hear.
Who's that?
Can I just? You guys give me a hard time for running time, and there was only two of you, and you guys went like over 2 hours last week. Can we talk about that? It should have been an easy episode with just two people to keep it shorter.
I don't know what you're talking about. We did what, TemTalk for an hour and 20 minutes last week, right, Gaijin? What
yeah,
easy. You weren't even here.
If you listen to the early episodes when it's just me and Kennedy, two people, we did like an hour 15 minutes. Like we struggled to get up to an hour and a half when it was just the two of us. So we'll see how we do today on time. We're doing plenty of filler at the top, so I'm sure it'll be a problem.
I will speak to that real quick, Fonlin, and that I didn't know you that well, and like I didn't want to be rude and just go off on huge like strings and stuff. But like there are times now when it's just like you say and do stuff where I'm just like, hold it, Fonlin, let's explore.
You gotta call me out.
Do it. Yeah,
that's true.
We're friends.
We fill up the show with a lot of me saying things and you guys just calling me to task on it and calling me out on it, keeping me honest.
Yup.
But I mean, it goes vice versa. I feel like you guys do it to me too. So,
well, let's without further ado, let's jump right into the news with a little bit of looking at what happened in Sci-Park.
The sound clips are back. The sound clips.
It's right. It's we got them back. So so Sci-Park this week not terribly exciting, I don't think, right? The free time, just for those that didn't know, the free time was 50 to 400. You got Revive, Smoke Bombs, Shamrock Dies, and a Vigor DNA Strand. I will say 20 Smoke Bombs for 100 releases is kind of cool. I mean, any other thoughts on this? And only being 400 releases for the top is pretty nice. It's not going over 400, but other than that, I mean, any thoughts or opinions on our Sci-Park this week?
I mean, I think it's just, meant to not be super exciting. I mean, I personally think Adoraboros and Barnaby are both like good Temtem to be honest. I love Kapayar's design. I think it's one of the cooler looking Temtem personally. Adoraboros is just adorable, and I mean, I personally like this Sci-Park a lot. I do wish the minimum SV was a little higher on Adoraboros, but 27 still fine. I would have liked to have seen them both be 31.
I was going to say, before you go too deep in, just if anyone's listening to audio only, the Sci-Park was, if you can't tell, Adoraboros, Bampy, 27 SVs on Adoro, Bampy 31 minimum, 10% egg move on both, 2,300 pan stunts for 22 cards. So I'm sorry, guys, you keep saying. So you're saying you wish the Adoraboros SV count would have been a little bit higher?
Yeah, and maybe like a 65% spawn rate versus the 50. I know it only has a 35% spawn rate in the wild, so they did increase its spawn rate overall, but I would have liked to see a little bit higher. But either way, I still think it was a pretty good Sci-Park. I mean, we can't have insane park after insane park.
Right.
So many people got burnt out, and
for a non-Luma week, it's pretty exciting, right? As far as non-Luma weeks go, I think it's decent.
I feel that this week I wasn't encouraged to go into Sci-Park whatsoever. I feel even for the people who kind of wanted this week, 10% egg move chance on Adoraboros is okay because it's like, yay, there's egg moves. But Adoraboros is one of those Tims that has so many egg moves. I know right off the bat, I can think of 3 that come to mind. And the one that really matters that I think is like super cool is Inner Spirit. And then Inner Spirit has like a 3-turn hold. So it's a 10% chance for it to have, the egg move. Oh, and the reason why I think Inner Spirit's important is because in order to get that on Adoraboros, you have to breed it onto Mushuk, and then you have to breed Mushuk with Adoraboros in order to get the egg move. So it's like a 2-stage process. And if you get gender screwed, you have to do it all over again. But you have to wait 3 turns before catching each Adoraboros to see if it has, one of its good egg moves on it. I feel like the egg move, it could have been tuned up to like 20%.
What do you
and then
think?
I probably would have been.
In general, for Cypark egg moves, what if they changed it to 10% for each of the egg moves to appear? So you could get like an ultra high roll and get 2 or 3 egg moves on it.
No.
Really? You're anti that?
No. Absolutely not.
You're not a breeder, so I'm surprised that you wouldn't like an easier way to get egg moves.
For me,
I mean,
I know
it's not about making things easier. I mean, that's part of breeding. That's part of Luma hunting. There should not be infinitely easier ways to do stuff.
Okay. You're always on that far right conservative. Don't make anything easier in Cypark. I like your consistency on your stance.
It's the whole purpose of this game. If you just give away everything to everybody, there's nothing for anyone to do. And if there's nothing for anyone to do, there's no game to play. There's no reason to play.
Yeah.
Game guys.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree. I was just curious. Because like Kennedy's saying there's so many egg moves on it. Even if it was like an ultra rare chance. But that's fair.
Not even ultra rare. Just no.
Fair enough.
So for me, I just think you have 22 side cards to go through, and even just in general for SVs, like that's just a big time commitment to get your breeding stock. Whereas I would rather just at this point go catch a Skunch, go catch a Mushuk, and then just keep going with the breeding process there.
Yeah.
Because when the time it takes you to catch one Adoraboros, so looking for one, like Inner Spirit, you could have 20 encounters of each of the other Tims, easy peasy. And that's not even me doing math. That's 10% chance out of 4 egg moves, a 50% encounter rate. You start looking at like less than a 7% chance of it having it on there.
I wish I would have had more time this week for Temtem, because I would have loved to have bred an Adoraboros, and it would have been a good week to get breeding stock, but I didn't get around to it. Or even just Luma hunting for one in there would have been neat, because it is a cool Luma. Do you have an Luma... Guys, do you have an Luma Adoraboros, or am I thinking of your Aclura?
No, I do have a Luma Adoraboros, but I did not nickname it, so I'm going to be giving away my Luma Adoraboros.
What does that say? I can't read it in reverse through the cam.
Oh, yeah, it's in reverse, isn't it? It says no power creep, hashtag Gaijin 2020. It's a political platform.
I mean, basically, I just so this goes back to playing Diablo, and people dropped in to my game. They dropped some hacked weapons in my game, and it made the game so absurdly easy, and it ruined the entire experience. Because the biggest part of most games for anyone really is the challenge. I mean, if there's no challenge and there's nothing to actually try for, it makes it less of a reason to actually play.
Yeah. Personally. I think it's a good fair opinion. I don't disagree. Was that Diablo 3 that happened to you in?
It was Diablo 3, yeah.
And that's such a progression-based game too.
It really is. I mean, it's if somebody just gives you an item that all of a sudden you can just go and destroy everything and everyone without any question. I mean, what's the point in even playing it?
I agree with you the most part. Somewhere I'd like to see some kind of slight uptick for Luma hunting. I think that's the only part of this that we slightly agree on.
Stop it.
Just a little something in Cypark to make people, some kind of bad luck protection, something to make people a little happier there.
Well, first of all, they already are working on bad luck protection, but what more do you want? They already are doing 12 times Luma odds for 5%ers.
Yeah,
3 times
yeah,
Luma
that's true.
odds
I
on.
should clarify. I don't want the Lumas to be easier to spawn in Sci Park. I just want it to have less feel bad moments. But we talk about Sci Park Lumas so much. I don't want to drag us into those weeds. I regret even mentioning it. I'm sorry. That's on me. Let's look at this. Let's look at this next tweet from them. This came out last week, I know, but I don't think you guys really got to cover it too much. They showed some Kisiwa clothes. They wrote a tweet saying, "New island, new looks. Check out some of the garments you'll find on the upcoming Kisiwa. While fashionable, these clothes offer plenty of protection from the sweltering rays of the pan sun. Trust us, you'll need it." And I don't know. I mean, how would you just? I don't know how to describe this outfit. Maybe you guys can do it better for anyone that's listening. The only thing that I think is funny is, are these socks and sandals? Are these socks and sandals? Because it sure looks like socks and sandals to me, and I think that's so freaking funny.
There's socks and flip flops.
They're wearing like that's like the dad look, right? The quote unquote dad stereotype.
Well, actually, they kind of look more like boots more than anything. Like if you look at the top of them, they kind of look like boots.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if that's what I'm guessing that wasn't intended to what it was supposed to be. But the fact that it made me question it, I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, there was conversations about this inside the tweet chain. I'm pretty sure at one point, Krema said that it is sandals and socks.
Did they really? Did they confirm that?
I remember. So I'm looking through it now, and I see somebody asked it on here. If you have it pulled up on stream, you can like scroll down, and they said that's a good question. But I remember them mentioning it someplace. I guess next week I'll look through the Discord and I'll see if Suki was having a conversation about it.
Okay.
Because there was just lots of jokes this past week in the Discord about Suki, Q&A Angel, and
I like when they're active and making fun and tongue in cheek, self-aware.
Yeah.
This next news item, I had to translate it in Google Translate. So for those that speak Portuguese naturally, you can tell me if any of this is wrong. But according to Google, this is what this tweet said. It said, "Hey coaches," which I don't think it meant coaches. I think it means a different word. But it says, "We have a big surprise for you. TemTalk will be available in Portuguese. From the next update, all text up to Tucumã will be available in Portuguese. We'll add the rest in future content updates." And I'll show the actual tweet here. More than anything, I just like the art on this tweet. I thought the art was super cool.
The art was designed really well.
Yeah, so I got that pulled up now. The reason I really like this, and the specific thing I thought interesting about this, is I've just noticed a lot of, like, for our content, at least, like, guys, when I stream and when I look at the metrics of TemTalk, there's a lot of Brazilian interest. It's like U.S. and Brazil is like the second biggest country. So I 100% think it's important that they get Portuguese supported. For those that don't know, Portuguese is the not the native language, but the primary. What's the technical word for being the main language of a country?
I believe primary.
The primary language.
Official language could be another word.
Fun Brazil fact: they're actually very multicultural and have a lot of like German and Japanese as well, and just a lot of people there are bi and trilingual. But Portuguese is the main language there. So anyway, I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to share that piece of art, if nothing else. Yeah,
it's a great piece of art, and the like amount of people that follow me that speak Portuguese is really impressive. I think my biggest followers are probably from Brazil and Australia.
Yeah, yep, I've seen the same thing.
My like highest follower count, I think, is probably those two areas, and Germany's pretty prominent too, I think.
Yeah. Are you just counting? Are you just saying that for Dan to keep him happy?
No, I actually have multiple Germans.
Really? That's awesome.
Dan barely comes into my chat. Dan doesn't give a crap about me.
He comes just to troll me constantly. And people in my chat. Just out of curiosity, there's probably no way to answer this, but I'm just curious. Any idea why do we think that in the U.S. and Brazil and Australia, out of those places, why that's where it's more popular? Is there any reason, like, do you think that has to do with Pokemon or gaming in general?
I think one of the reasons it's so big in those areas is, one, it's not a very intensive game performance-wise. A lot of computers can play this. I know buying stuff in Brazil is incredibly expensive.
Same in Australia.
buying a GPU, buying any computer parts, trying to upgrade a computer is incredibly expensive. And yeah, Australia too. Their prices are also really, really high. So I think the fact that it is a lower entry level game and it is another creature collecting game, I think those are two big factors for that.
Sure. Oh, that's interesting. Eduardo, one of the Brazilians I was speaking of, he confirmed they meant trainers. It's supposed to be hey trainers, not hey coaches. So thank you for that clarification, Eduardo. We should have had you come on, Eduardo, and read it in Portuguese. I should have thought about that ahead of time. Next time, I could have had you at least recorded or something. Sorry, let's see.
Before we move on real quick, Willow Wisp was saying that you just wanted a easier way to get Lumas because you just are upset about running away from a Luma Zephyr.
Yeah, should we talk about that?
Let's tackle it later when we get to
Okay.
We can dedicate a whole 15 minutes to a memorial or vigil.
I was going to try to just quickly gloss over and hope we didn't bring it up, but yeah, okay, fair enough. So with that said, let's look at the next news item right away. Maybe you guys will forget still. This is not quite newsworthy, but I just thought it was. I like sharing this stuff because if Yaw posted on the Reddit in response to someone having technical problems and he gave some advice, and I just like to share this just in case there's anyone that listens to this later or watches this that might have that same problem. If Yaw, the game director, is taking the time to comment on it, I want to get this information out to other people if we can help in any way. So someone posted on Reddit. Dudas92 said, Temtem is overheating my GPU. Is this common? Is there a solution? And Yaw recommended checking your frame rate settings under the video section, which I've seen before. And he said, don't put it in automatic. This sometimes bugs out under some GPUs and leaves the game unlimited or unlimited. This will put your GPU at 100% and the game will be running at the maximum FPS possible. That's interesting. I feel like I should adjust that myself because I've seen my GPU actually take up a lot more processing than Temtem should be needed for. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, how many frames per second does your monitor run at?
Guys, why are you putting me on this file with the old technical questions? I don't know. I'm getting 135 frames per second in Temtem right now because I have the tracker up. Does that answer the question?
Okay. I mean, not really. That just tells me how high it's running. You should probably just set it to 60 or 90%, especially while streaming.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna need more than like 90, even 60. Honestly, you don't really need more than 60 frames a second for Temtem, do you?
Not something for this. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it down to 60 right now. That might help.
Playing like a competitive FPS or something, then yeah, it's probably better to have more, 120, 240, but
right. I think Kennedy, this brings us to our wait, before we go on to it. I have my other bullet points. Really quick, I just want to talk about you guys were talking about the egg topic briefly last week. So it was funny about it. It was funny for me being gone. I listened to Temtem during the week, the TemTalk. I always call it TemTalk. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, before you go into this, do you want to, for all the listeners who are tuning in and might have missed last episode, do you want to go over what that was?
Yeah. No, I'm going to. By the way, I also forgot. There was other. Thanks for the hundreds of listeners that reached out worried about me for the thousands of views that we get every week. That of course is sarcasm as Gaijin shakes his head at me. But we did actually have an application for my position. There was at least one person that believed I actually retired, so that's pretty funny. But no, I was just gone for the 4th of July weekend with family.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. No, so so it was funny listening to the show because I got to see from the other side what it's like as a viewer to not participate and just listen. And it was a really fun experience. But I was in my kitchen cooking, just yelling to myself in my kitchen because you guys were saying Giles has like 3 egg moves. I was like, no, it has 4 egg moves. It has 4 egg moves. And you guys eventually, someone in chat corrected you guys and you said it. But anyways, my point being is you guys talked about how, was it Yaw said, someone from Krema said, don't be too worried about having perfect egg moves. Just trust me, I can't say, or it's QA Angel said it, I think. Said, don't be too worried about it. And I was like, this is huge news. And you guys kind of briefly talked about it, but neither of you I don't think, breed quite as much as me. So I just thought that that's crazy good. I'm so happy to hear that. And I just wanted to quickly revisit and say that's really big. And I'm excited to see what that looks like. So
while you guys retouch on the egg topic, I'm going to go ahead and get my coffee now.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. What am I? Oh wait, so our bet update. Kennedy. So Kisiwa dropped. This first week that we just got through was my week. So unless Kisiwa drops in the next 12 hours, I've officially lost the bet. And
Yeah.
now is
But
next,
I've got a big smile on my face right now because now we're moving into my week. It's as far as for those.
Is this your week? Is this your week or is this Gaijin's week?
This coming week's my week.
I thought you wanted the 25th. Isn't your birthday the 25th?
No, my birthday's the 18th.
The 18th. Okay, so this week is yours, and then it's Gaijin's week, and then it's Havoc's week. Is that right?
Yep. So anybody who is listening, we made a bet, 5,000 Pansuns a piece of when
7,000?
I thought it was 5,000.
Oh boy, here we go.
I might have to go free Tim a little bit then.
So
you're always trying to just weasel money out of me, Vonlin.
I'm broke now, and I've lost it. Wait, I already know I've lost the bet, so you're right, it's 5,000 only. What am I saying? Of course,
yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Of course it's only 5,000.
But we bet when Kisiwa is going to come out. Nobody took the first week of July. The second week, which was this week that just passed, the 5th through the 11th, was Vonlin's week. If he came out, he won 20,000 Pansun. If it came out on the 12th through 18th, that's my week. And then for Gaijin, it's the 19th through 25th. And then Havoc took the 26th through 31st.
By the way, do we remember who was going to pay Havoc's bill? Because I feel like if
Dumaga.
Okay,
Dumaga.
I
remember it.
Okay, good. Hold him on the line.
Yeah.
Real talk about this, though, do you think we were at the end of June and you were convinced Kisiwa was going to drop right away because they were very active in Discord? We're a week and a half past that. What's your latest thoughts on the Kisiwa release date?
So y'all said in the Discord, expect the 31st, and if anything happens and it comes out sooner, just be happily surprised.
Oh, did he really say that? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think that was just him trying to, stop people from like overhyping and overexpecting. But for me, it's like
does mean that it really could come at the end of the month. It really does mean that. Yeah. Havoc might be winning this.
Yeah, and if Havoc wins it, that's funny because I feel like he had the least amount of space to win it. But anyways, though, if it comes earlier, it seems like a really weird strategy to me that they would start hyping up Kisiwa so much further in advance before Kisiwa came out. Everybody has talked about how different Crim has been in the development process, whereas for the people who've been following this game since it was in, alpha and beta testing and Kickstarter stuff, when Tukma was released, I believe the people who are part of the community, then these aren't my words, said that there was like no lead up or no spoilers or no hype, like hyping up of like the community, that they just opened up the game and updated, and Tukma was part of the game then, and it just kind of got dropped.
Sure.
So this is very different from what they've done with that, and like how much they've hyped up Kisiwa. And if you were to think of this as a true MMO, which at this point I am, even though we don't have the chat features and the other things, each of these drops is basically an expansion.
Yeah, it's like a mini expansion. You're right.
Like, yeah, when you think about other games and like how they announce content and lead up to it, I guess it makes sense to put it out so far in advance of just like, hey, this is what you expect in the next, coming quarter.
Announcements happen very, very early on. By the way, before I miss it, it's funny, I was just talking about listening to the episode and getting stuff wrong and shouting at it, and then as I made an example of that, I misquoted and said something wrong. Talaki and said Gallus has 5 egg moves, not 4. Correct, you're right, you're 100% right, it has 5 egg moves. You guys were, I think what you guys were saying, you guys were saying which Temtem have more than 4 egg moves, and you said like only 1 or 2, and you guys forgot about Gallus, and I was like, Gallus has more than 4, that's what I was thinking of. So thank you for the correction. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and delete your YouTube comment. We corrected it already. Don't worry. Listen, Kenny, why don't you let's move into the Discord roundup, and just for it, I'll get you a little. I don't have we'll just use this. That's our Discord roundup sound, I guess. Do you want to run through the stuff? I don't like showing the Google document, so just kind of quickly describe what you see here.
Okay, yeah. So the first one, obviously.
Wait, can we talk? How long does it take Gaijin to get a cup of coffee? What's he doing over there?
If he gets a cup of coffee for 10.5 years, that's his prerogative.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Gaijin's coffee must be brewed with the eternal steams of the universe.
He's roasting the beans right now, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, Suki has been putting out the haunts, which is, the Sci Park hints, earlier in the week. And so bless Suki for that, because that means we get to cover them on TemTalk. And as you listen to the episode throughout the week, you get to see how wrong we were with our guesses.
Sure do.
So this week's hint is simply a blue square with a white triangle pointing upwards in it. What this could mean, it takes galaxy minds to understand how Suki's brain works and how this is a hint in any sort of thing. I'm going to assume it's going to mean a Temtem that can level up. It's going to be
a Temtem that can level up.
Luma week.
Isn't that any Temtem? What do you mean?
Wait, no, I'm sorry.
Level up?
A Temtem that can evolve.
Oh, okay.
Let me go through my process here, because I think it's going to be a Temtem with at least 2 evolutions. It's going to be a Luma week, and one of the things that they do with Lumas, there are some Temtem in the game that you catch as a Luma that you'll never get their final evolution as a Luma because you catch them too high before they can level up and evolve. Like, there's not enough levels with the current level cap for that Luma version of the Tem to evolve. So what you have to do is catch the Luma of its first evolution, and then you have to breed it and hope you get a Luma egg, and then that the egg can evolve to become the final evolution. As far as Temtem that are like that in the game, obviously, the dream is Aclura, because Aclura you catch too high for it to evolve into a Luma. Anything else that can't evolve? I don't think Platypet can be caught high enough to get a Luma Platamus. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure it's real.
This next hint I have a little more is easier to speculate on, I think. So what tell about the next hint?
Okay, so yeah, moving on from there. Those are my 2 guesses. Oclura and Spreal, or maybe Spreal and Riber.
It could be. I think it's gonna be Platypet, because like blue color is the same color.
Yeah, yep, it is blue. You're right. Maybe Platypet and Riber. All right. The next one is going to be a leak from Yaw, game.
Hold on 1 second. Wait. Oh, that eyebrow leak wasn't a hint. That wasn't a hint. Oh, interesting.
No, that is not a hint. This is something Yaw leaked.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So Yaw, if enough leak power is channeled into the Discord, and leak power is people posting pictures of the vegetable leaks, Yaw comes out of his ethereal dimension and shares information about Temtem. He posted a picture. It's a zoomed up it's a zoomed up picture, and it's 2 eyes closed and kind of like a happy smile, or maybe like an angry downwards pose. And it looks very similar to the eyes of Mix and Ori, and I forget Ori's evolution, the digital Temtem. The only difference between all of those is these eyes are white, and I believe all of those Tims have blue eyes. But it's just, these closed, happy, smiling eyes on, like the darkness of behind it. So thinking that this is a new Tim, there is a very small possibility. People have mentioned this, and I don't know where the speculation comes from. People have mentioned that there's going to be a living entity inside of our Tempedia, kind of like how Pokemon has adopted the living Pokédex with Rotoms inside of it.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I keep seeing it on the Discord. People keep speculating of just like, it's going to be inside.
Welcome back, Gaijin. I was getting worried about you. Did you roast the coffee beans? What? Oh, you're muted, Gaijin.
Oh yeah, it's my
still
mic
muted.
still muted.
Oh, now who's the scuffed streamer?
Oh, come on. I always forget to unmute, but I've never once had anyone call me a scuffed streamer.
To be fair, you didn't unplug your microphone, which is what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was also feeding the guinea pigs.
Oh, cute.
I want to speak. I want to
They
speak
were
in defense
grumpy.
of Gaijin. Nobody's ever called him a scuffed streamer. He's also never taken the Twitter username. It's Boo Gaijin.
All right, we got.
It's Boo Gaijin.
I'm gonna be gone for another
That's
episode,
true.
and I regret coming back and hanging out with you too.
Oh, calm down, Talk Tim.
All right, so Ken, I want to keep going through the
everything
news.
I can speculate on that.
You think it might be a Temtem or something in the Tempedia? Guys, we're just talking about the eyebrows or closed eyes from Yaw. Any idea what this is? Because I don't even want to speculate because I have no idea.
You know, I generally do not know. I'm thinking that it looks more like possible, just in general, character eyebrow design.
Character creation stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
a
I'm
solid
thinking
guess.
that maybe perhaps we have some editability coming
That would be
in the
sweet.
future.
That would be sweet.
I just can't. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like. It feels like how far they're set apart and the way they're angled feels way more like a human style eyebrow compared to what we currently have on our own characters. It does not appear to be creature-like to me at all in any sense.
Oh, that's really good. That sounds the most realistic to me. It's something to do with character creation or re-editing or more options. I'm just gonna run through these next few quick. So I want to just get us to the next section. I made a promise to stick to an hour and a half today. Also had some comments in the Discord saying, "Are you going to remove Guile's egg moves?" And he said some yes. So I was being futuristically correct by saying he only has 4 egg moves because I knew he was going to get one removed. No, I really didn't. But that's interesting. So Guile says, and he says the Guile's rework is not due to them being OP or not. It's to include more melee techniques to properly reflect its typing. The rework is not for balance, but the balance can be a side effect of the rework. So I think that's very interesting because we all thought, or at least I thought, oh, Giles is like one of the strongest sweepers. That's why they're reworking him. But it's not it. They're just making his typing more in line with the design.
I mean, if it's not a rework because he's OP, that's a little concerning, I think, personally. Because he is OP, but I understand them not. They already said that they don't plan on balancing any Temtem until they have the full lineup released. I know they've done some small tweaks here and there, but nothing like an actual rework. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, for sure. I don't know.
Give Guialis Inner Spirit, Special Attack Guialis, let's go! It'd be so dookie, but
as far as that, guys, I think it's yeah. I go either way on the balance topic. Should they be balancing more, or is it okay? All I know is their statement that they are going to only balance between seasons at full release, and they're not super concerned about balancing right now when the game's so there's so many Temtems and techniques and gear not out there that they're only going to go after very major changes, which I'm okay with. But I do think since it's going to be a year and a half or a year until we get to that full game, it is important that the meta is not just completely busted. But I'm hoping it seems like their stance is if it's completely busted, we'll tweak something. So we could debate all day if we think Giles is oppressive in the meta or not. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
It's definitely counterable. Like,
right.
It's not unstoppable. But I do feel like it does do too much damage and have too much resilience.
It's a little
personal.
It's a little too easy to use. Like Valash is a hyper carry, but you have to Madness buff is not. You have to be a good player to use Madness buffs correctly. Giles just hit heat up and you start attacking.
Exactly. Kennedy.
I think again, I've always said Gialis is not the hardest thing in the world to deal with. I think Gialis is in some respects, and I hate to use this term because I always hate it in other games, But in some respects, other games have things called like pubes stompers, which is for newer players coming in that don't know, the upper tiers of the game. These things are like just the things that you pick, and against newer players who don't know that there's an ebb and flow to the game, you just steamroll them. Gaialis is one of those Tims that I feel is a pube stomper, and that Gaialis has the potential.
What's the term you're using?
Pube stomper.
Pube stomper or pub smasher. I don't know what it's.
Is it pube or pub? Those are two very different terms.
I don't know. I always see it online. I've never said the term out loud.
All right, that's fair.
But anyways, Gaialis is a Tim that has the ability to 100% win you a game against a player who doesn't know how to play against it. But Gaialis also has the same ability to lose you the game by picking Gaialis against anybody who knows how to play against it.
Yeah. I think that's all okay. I'm okay with everything you just said. I think I got no issue with that.
Yeah,
and with the Earth Tims that are coming, there's going to be more to deal with it personally.
It's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be even easier to counter them. All right, well let's
on real quick, whether or not Krima should balance or not, I'm cool with their decision not to balance until more of the game is released. Because it's like, could you imagine if they listened to the community and they gave Gaialis a completely balanced and tweaked its stats, and then they reworked its kit and they gave it new moves with different types of priorities and different holds and everything. And then they have to go back and everybody's like, oh, well, now this Tim's useless, and then they have to adjust it again.
Well, when the game fully releases,
balance it again. It's just creating more work. Every time they balance something now, they have to unbalance it later because it's balanced for end game. It's not balanced for current game, probably. I mean, they released some Tims on the islands that, they thought people would enjoy and have fun with, and some people are upset because they think it's OP and it needs to be balanced, but they can't balance it for just the current available because then they'll have to unbalance it.
Right. No, I think it's we're all in 100% agreement there. So I think we're on the same page. Which that doesn't happen much. With that, let's move on to our community highlights. What I pulled out this week to go over is this Reddit post that I thought was especially funny. It was posted by bdog_7 on Reddit, and it's a meme, excuse me, of it says gym leader type matchups, and it's like rock paper scissors. So it's referring to like Pokemon, how to beat a Pokemon gym. You go into a gym in Pokemon and they're all one type. You just bring in another type. And then below it says dojo leader type matchups, and it's got this like really complicated star and like Spock and all this other stuff going on. So I thought it was pretty funny. And by all means, I'm never about like making fun of Pokemon or trash talking Pokemon because Pokemon's great. But this is a funny comparison, and it is an accurate representation, I think, between the game difficulty storyline wise.
There is no. I mean, so saying that Pokemon is easy is not trash talking. It's a fact. Pokemon is easy. It's so simple to just stomp through the whole game without any problems at all. And that is a perfect representation of exactly how simple and easy gyms are in Pokemon.
And I agree with this meme. I think it's really, really funny, but it's accurate. Because, I mean, when you think about even the Tukma dojo leader, that was like, all of the dojo leaders are stupid difficult.
Yeah, they are.
Because they don't just, like, it's not just the water gym. It's not just the toxic gym. It's the toxic and crystal gym. It's the fire and nature. So it's just like, oh, they've got fire types. I'll bring water. Wait, they have nature types, and the nature types kick my water types' butts. So I have to bring, fire to counter the nature types. Well, that's not going to work, and I don't really have access to toxic at this point in the game. So you really have to be like in it, like when you're fighting the dojo leader. And then even the toxic gym leader, it's just like one of the biggest threats they have is like a very high level shooing. And I believe its ability it has is the immunity one, where it can't take damage from toxic type moves there, and it's a water type. It's just like, not only are they double typing and oftentimes bringing the typing to cover their weakness. The Tims they run, like Volarin and Shuing, are, and even Taifu, being ran in the Witchmajigger dojo, the Mokapuni one. It's just like they have Tims with abilities that cover the weaknesses of their weaknesses. That just you really have to pay attention when you go through the dojo battles. And this meme is on point.
It's good. It covers it well. I didn't know where else to mention this. A quick shout out to the community. A cool little milestone for TemTalk is it happened like a week or two ago, but I just realized it officially. We had over 100 subs on the YouTube channel, so I just thought just a quick highlight mention. I know it's one of the milestones that YouTubers always look forward to, is that first little stepping stone. So 100 followers, yay! On YouTube.
How many followers does Talk Tem have on YouTube?
Thousands. All right, let's go to the listener questions.
Listener questions.
So, if you want to be cool like these listeners that wrote in, email temtalkshow@gmail.com. Don't email the email that Kennedy said last week on the show like 2 or 3 times incorrectly.
Hey, you've never written this down. I've only emailed that email once.
Yeah, so it's temtalkshow@gmail.com. Someone had temtalk@gmail already, which I don't know why or who has that, but someone had it.
Gaijin.
So the first question comes in from Muzz. Muzz wrote, hello friends at TemTalk. I have another question for you lovely people. He must be talking about you two, I think. If you could add any kind of Temtem into the game, what would it be? My idea is a mental water frog. I love that idea, Muzz. It would have a trait where it was we need a frog Temtem, we really do. It would have a trait where it has improved attack defense for one gender and improved special attack special things for the other gender. Both traits do the same thing but inverted. And it would have a technique that allows it to change its genders to be the opposite of its allies' team. Oh, this is so complicated. Some frobs are actually able to do this in the wild, and there are too many of the one gender in an area. I think the name, oh boy, I can't pronounce that. The name Krotau would be cool. Krotau would be cool, coming from the word croak and, boy, what is that? Batau? He says, yeah. I'm interested to hear what your ideas are. Loving support as always, Muzz, and a little heart emoji. Thank you, Muzz. It'd be cool because you could have a tadpole be the first evolution, and then it could evolve into a frog.
On the topic of the frog, check the link that I'm dropping in the stream chat.
Yeah, perfect.
There's a frog Temtem for you.
Oh, this looks very like familiar to another Temtem. I'm pulling it up here. Tater frog for Boo. Who made this? Made with
one of my followers, Noodle Pie.
Noodle Pie.
They stream art creation on Twitch, and this was one of the things that they were drawing the other day, and I just thought it was too funny that we were talking about frogs, and here we are, we've got one.
Look at Krima, we already have the artwork done for you.
Yeah. If I could introduce anything, though, personally, it would have to be Ghost.
Yeah.
I love ghosts, and just even if it's not a ghost typing, just a ghost-like design, preferably ghost and dragon design-wise, that has typing like toxic poison. I mean, toxic mental or something like that. But yeah, anything that looks remotely like ghosty and dragon-like would definitely be the top of my list.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good suggestion. Kennedy?
For me, I feel Gaijin on that ghost. Angels have always been like my big theme that I love.
Nice, yeah. And
any celestial Tim would be like really cool. So some like bird of light or something would be super awesome. As we kind of touch on this in the next question when we get to that one, so I'm not going to give the other idea I had. But as far as for this is like introducing a Tim with a cool ability, I would think like some like I think the only sacred Tims we have in the game are like Mix and Kinu are the only, oh, and Shuin has like divine origins. But otherwise, I think it would be really cool to have a Tim that on death clears all stat changes of Tims on the field, which would be really like a weird Pick-a-Pack Fainted Curse, which would be really cool of just like, you know, your opponent gets a sweeper off and they're definitely going to kill you. And then, you know, you swap in this Tim, it takes the hit, it dies, all the stat changes revert back to normal for all Tims, and you have like one more chance to try and not lose the game.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot.
That would be like really fun. And I could see that as like some, you know, divine theme of a Tim of just like, you've been blessed.
That would be super cool.
Yeah, I like that. That's a sweet idea. I would, I'm kind of in the similar vein of the Ghost. I'd like to just see a spooky / horror / undead inspired type of Tem. Give me like a zombie Tem or like a vampire-ish one or something.
No.
Give me something like that.
So we've got Ghost, Zombie, Angel.
Yep. Yep.
I'm down with the angels because Angemon is probably one of the coolest looking Digimons. Or at least I thought so back when I was watching it.
I agree.
And the whole angel design.
Angel?
So it's Angemon. There's no L. Take out the
Angemon.
L.
Okay. Google figured it out.
Its design is super cool. And playing Diablo, I always thought the design of the angels in Diablo 3 were really, really cool too. So I would totally be down for an angel design Temtem.
But you're
But
out
zombies,
of
get out of
here.
here. No, and vampires. I mean, how many zombies and vampires am I supposed to care about? We've got The Walking Dead, we've got True Blood, we've got all these different zombie and vampire shows and things. I mean, what do you want, man?
One more. I do like this. I pulled up the Angemon. It's a very cool looking Digimon. That's sweet. I like that it has 6
Yeah,
wings.
it's super sick.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, no, I like all those answers. I'd be happy with all of them. So the other question we got 2 questions this week. First time ever. Big week. Shinty wrote and said, "Hi guys. Shinty, first of all,
who's Shinty?
You didn't call us lovely people.
Who's Shinty?
Yeah. He said,
"Hey, Shinty's wonderful."
I really appreciate the thorough response provided to my last question. My question for this week's TemTalk: what dual type do you think will be most prevalent in the future and why? Signed by a fan, Shinty. I don't know. What do you guys think? Which dual type would be the most prevalent? Like, what will be the most popular?
We don't know all the dual types currently, so it's really hard to say. But if they ever come out with a crystal electric type, I think that could be pretty popular. I just think that but that's also just coming from the current wind meta too.
Right.
So, I don't really know without seeing all of the double typing that we will, because they have some really weird ones like water electric, and fire crystal, like grass water. They've got some ones that you wouldn't normally expect, and it's definitely hard to say.
So I was holding my answer a little bit on the last one because mine here that I want, I feel like it's already going to be added to the game. I want a fire wind Temtem, and I feel like we're going to get that through a 2Y evolution.
Yeah.
Ideally, like a phoenix. It's one of my favorite like fantasy motifs.
Ooh.
And Pokemon has a phoenix, which is Moltres, but I've always felt so let down. Moltres is
such a poor design.
Yeah.
It's
flying like weird fire chicken
thing. Yeah.
And its shiny variant is poop.
Yeah, I hope that like whatever the fire evolution for 2Y is, like they just go all out with it. Let its flames just like burn brilliantly. Like 2Y looks not 2Y, 2Vine. Well, 2Y looks cute, but 2Vine looks so cool.
The
like
crystal 2Vine is so cool.
Same love
or
to
Luma.
The fire evolution. I'll be happy.
The Luma 2Vine is such a cool looking Luma. So I think all the Luma 2Y evolutions are going to be amazing. So yeah, you're right. That's a great suggestion.
I want to address something in the chat. Smoke Allergy says like Ho-Oh. I guess Ho-Oh's a fire bird. I've never really considered Ho-Oh a phoenix. I
Phoenix-like.
consider that. Yeah.
Does Ho-Oh have fire moves?
It does, yeah. It's fire and psychic.
Okay.
Oh wait, is it fire psychic? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Weird.
I'm looking this up. I'm curious. This says fire flying.
Whatever. It has psychic moves though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. It's just but it's not on fire. The design of it isn't on fire at all, so it's not very phoenixy.
Yeah, give me a flaming bird. Like even Talonflame in Pokemon was never on fire.
I don't know to answer the question myself. He said most prevalent, so just what would be the most good in the meta? Like it's hard to not be biased by the current meta, but like just with the current meta, I gotta say like something crystal something, you know. But that might just be because of where we're at, that all these good crystal Tems. But also digital, once we get digital Tems will probably be really popular. So like a crystal digital Tem would see so much play. So I don't know.
Ooh, you know, I think toxic electric would be pretty cool.
Oh, that'd be very cool, yeah.
Because that would nullify the wind super effectiveness, but also toxic just does not have tons of weaknesses, or even digital toxic might be pretty cool. But
yeah.
I think anything toxic would probably be pretty good, just because it does not have a lot of weaknesses as it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well let's so like I said, if you want to be cool like Shinty and Muzz, temtalkshow@gmail.com. Let's move on to what we've been up to this week. Unfortunately for me,
we'll let you start with that one, Ron.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I may have ran from a Luma this last week. And
no. You're not may have.
And it may be the exact same Luma that Gaijin had ran from and I teased him about. And it may be even worse in the fact that I noticed the Luma, I saw the Luma, and then I still hit the run button. So that was my week.
My partner was watching your stream at the time. She was like, Vonlin found a Luma Sephiroth. And I was like, yes, it's freaking awesome for him. Awesome. And I was jumping in the stream to tell you congratulations. And as I'm opening the stream, she's like, he ran from it. What?
I wasn't even drinking. Man. I can't even try to blame it on that or anything.
Oh, Vonlin. How the mighty have fallen.
I know.
I would never run from a Luma. I don't know how you guys could possibly run from a Luma.
There's no proof of that.
You said that.
There's no proof of that. No one dig up any videos.
There's a link that's just been shared.
Yeah, there's the clip.
Can we watch it on stream?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sure, we'll
for those who. Yeah.
Oh, is this it?
Yeah. Let me get all pulled up here.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the pain.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know if that makes you feel any better.
Chat slowed down a little bit. And
why isn't that? It's weird.
Hey, you broke it.
Right, here we go.
That was quick.
I forget that I swear in this. I'll have to edit that out.
Oh wait, maybe let's not watch it on the episode.
No, I can edit this. I'll edit it.
Chat slowed down a little bit, and
wow, taking time to edit videos.
Hey, Luma Zephyra. That was
really
quick.
Good to us, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to yell and swear, but holy shit, that was quick.
No.
Oh my god. I was not expecting. I just randomly ran into it. What the heck?
Well, there's actually not any audio anyway, so it's not a huge deal.
I really blew up the mic there. I'm sorry. I was not expecting that.
So yeah, I'll just play in the background of this video so whoever watches it can see. Or whoever goes and watches this on YouTube can see Zephyroth being ran from.
So
immortalized.
So you guys couldn't hear the audio, but there was audio coming through on my end, so the listeners will all have heard the audio. But anyways, go on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool beans. As far as like what I've been up to this week, Gaijin gave me a Tem, and he's got a lot of others for me that I'm going to TV train for him. But I just I don't know. I played a lot the week before last, and I kind of just took a break from Tim this week. Normally I play for about 15 hours a week, This week, I probably only played for an hour or so. I got the first tier of free Tem releases, and then that was about it.
You didn't go for the smoke bombs?
I'll probably try to tomorrow morning if I have time before my D&D stream. I've got a big weekend in front of me, so I haven't had a lot of time to play. Now, I do want to say I was watching Vonlin's stream earlier this week, and he asked for advice on a game while he was playing competitive. And there's two things that I took away from that game that I really wanted to talk about on the show. First, into that game, you complained about my advice that I was giving you, and you first picked Volcrane when the enemy had a Whiplump and a Nukama on their team as options to first pick. And I was like, in what world does anyone ever do this? So, like, you had no first turn pressure because the Volcrane had to swap out. And so you had no second turn pressure either because, your Valash double swaps. Then you're just in a bad position in general.
I lost that match, right? Did I end up winning this?
Yeah, you did lose that match, but I told you to Madness buff the Valash, and they doubled into the Valash and the Volcrane, and you're just like, oh, Kennedy, you're done. I was just like, what else? What else are you supposed to do? You first picked Volcrane into a water Tim. Like,
that's right. This was right before I ran from the Zephyr. I remember now.
So it was really fun watching that game, and that kind of inspired me to get back online on TemTalk. So tonight I might play a couple games of ranked because I haven't played in a hot second. I've been really missing it.
Yeah. What about you, Gajmu? You been up to anything exciting too much, or busy week for you as well?
I mean, kind of ish. I finished my Tataru Nuzlocke challenge.
Hey,
no kidding! Oh, that's huge. I wasn't aware of that. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Dang it! I had channel points, and I was waiting for you to Nuzlocke so I could use a bunch of those channel points to try to mess with you. Dang it!
I mean, save them for the next one. I still got my Pookie lock. I've still got my double Tataru Nuzlocke, but I think I'm going to save that one for just when, the full game's out, because it felt really, really easy with
really?
having, that many Tatarus. It's just, Tataru is such a... It learns Noxious Bomb, it learns Lullaby, and it learns Stone Ball. But none of mine had Stone Ball, so that's relatively irrelevant. But it just learns so many useful moves, especially for the second island. You get Noxious Bomb basically right away. The hardest part, I think, was probably Sophia. Because I don't know. Just going through Sophia's area, I completely forgot about Narcoleptic Hit being a mental type move, and just the poison is just probably the most obnoxious part for me. So that, and going through all of Tukma was just a giant pain, because toxic, and poison ticks just resource drain. But yeah, I finished that. That was really cool. I came out with like 50,000 Pansun, so I transferred that all over to my main account, and
nice.
Yeah, so now I'm waiting to reset that account, and I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I've got the Pookie lock that I need to do, but I'm honestly just petrified.
You probably want a little bit of a break before you do another Nuzlocke run, I imagine.
Electric and Nature on the first island. Nature on the second island. Toxic on the third island. I mean, all of this stuff is just weaknesses for Pookie right out of the gate, and I'm gonna have to do so much TV training.
How many you got revitalized bread onto those Pookies?
No, because these are all 1SV Pookies for Munch and Play, so they're just straight 1SVs.
Yeah,
so
it's technically
it's a magic crap lock.
Are you allowed to evolve them?
Calls them. No, I cannot evolve them. They're just Pookies.
Oh no!
Oh my gosh! I feel. I mean, if you make it to Kisiwa, well, there you go. Water and Earth, or rather,
baby. Island. I'm coming for you, Kisiwa. And other than that, just been playing other games as well. I've been doing some Sea of Thieves. I've been playing some Monster Hunter. Just been, taking a small break here and there from Temtem. I'm so ready for Kisiwa, and I don't know, a little burnt down on Luma hunting currently. So I don't know.
As I was telling you, I want to play some Sea of Thieves with you. I love Sea of Thieves, so I'm always looking for people to play with on that. So we'll have to play some Sea of Thieves together sometime. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm game.
The one other thing that I was up to this week, besides running from a Zephyr, is I did a makeover of my character finally. I said I look so basic compared to you guys, and guys, and you gave me the idea of matching a Luma with my outfit. So I spent 150,000 Pansons on cosmetic items and dyes last night. And it was a lot of Pansons, but I'm very happy with the final outcome. I have this pink and red outfit that matches Luma, Calibus, and 2Y and Kaku. What was that?
Can you do me a favor real quick?
Yeah. What's that?
Look up the tamer I Am Blix.
Okay, hold on. Let me spell it out for me. I am
Blix, because if I remember, you look almost like identical.
Oh yeah, they have a very similar, different color scheme, but yeah, we picked almost all of the same outfit stuff out.
Okay. It's been a while. I could have sworn they had like a pinkish previously.
They may have changed the dyes, but we have the same hood, and we have the same middle piece, but we have different pants. But yeah, we have a bunch of Quetzal stuff, so we're very similar. Very similar.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's I don't know. I think a lot of people choose a similar design to that, but it does look good. Although Calibus, I think, is probably one of the worst Lumas in the game. So
get out of here! But it matches with Luma 2i. It matches with the any of the pink or red Lumas. The outfit goes well with. So I casted a wide.
Well, you've got the blonde hair too, so I guess the beak on the 2i kind of matches that one. So
yeah. The 2i almost matches the best, but anyway, we didn't talk about my outfit too much, but I was very excited for that. I'm very happy to have my character look much cooler than it did before. And like when I'm on Tukuma itself, I match the environment so much, and I look like I belong. Like I'm sad because I never want to leave Tukuma now, but I know in like a week or two I'm gonna be in Kisiwa full time, and I might not look good for the environment, but we'll see. Let's go. Let's keep moving the show along here. Our game suggestion idea factory is going to be the main topic. So I think, Kenny, did you have any community events, tournaments? Because if not, really, we'll have time for Temtem of the week. So did you have you?
Yeah, I didn't watch Plus OPs last night, but Fellow Tamers Little Cup is happening right now.
Yes, it is. We'll rate them when we're done, assuming that they're broadcasting the finals by then. So let's go straight to let's do like 5 minutes on Temtem of the week. We'll do a little whip club transition for it. So. We haven't done Temtem of the Week in a long time, so it's probably worth doing one. I picked Mastion specifically because I've been seeing a lot of Mastion get played in ladder more than before. And so very briefly, we don't have time to really go through the full thing. I don't really want to do it. All I really want from you, Kennedy, in this segment today, because I'm hoping that you can answer the best, is why is Mastion getting played more and what role does it play? And just kind of talk about... I'm just curious myself personally. Why am I seeing Mastodon all of a sudden in ladder games?
Double fire. There is. I told you the meta is never truly solved. Tsubaki introduced a checkmate situation to the current win meta. If you pick two win type, or if you pick the win meta on your team for the heavy hypnosis control. You simply pick two crystal attackers that can either crystal spikes or madness buff and get themselves really pumped up. Gaialis and Valash, Xenorath and Valash mix, and Valash mix and Gaialis, etc. Turn one, and you go ham on the other team's face. When you are doing this type of strategy, you normally your team's going to have a weakness to fire. And you're going to be banning out fire-type Tims. Rise is very prevalent, and he gets banned out a lot. The reason why we're seeing more Mastion is because if you have two Tims of a type on your team, your counter strategy can't be countered with just a ban. So normally people only run one fire. So you ban one fire Tim, which is normally going to be a better fire Tim than Mastion, and then Mastion makes it through the ban list and he gets picked. Energy drink Mastion can Meteor Swarm on turn 2. There's nothing that really puts out enough damage to kill it by turn 2 unless you're playing it into a water Tim. And it pretty much turn 1 it embers, turn 2 it Meteor Swarms, or it has access to Major Slash and can even answer things that swap in against a threat for it. So Mastion is just kind of one of those things to counter to the meta, which that's how a game evolves. So we had a double fire Tim meta before, and now we're moving back towards it a little bit. And I think somebody will find a cool answer to, Mastion's being ran. I don't think Mastion's oppressive. I just think, it makes people kind of have to think about how many crystal Tims they want to bring.
Cool Luma form too, by the way. I like one of the. Is there any other Lumas that are like? Oh, I guess Toxolotl, but I like the Lumas that are the white color schemes. Toxolotl, Magmus, Mastion. I'm a big Nessala. Those really pure white, clean looking Lumas are cool too. So, I did see. Two quick things from the Wikipedia. I love the lore line they wrote. This is pretty cool. It says Mastions are fire-loving Temtem at home in the forest of the fire crest of blazes. They can be found grazing in woods devoured by wildfire. The tamed variants learn to rein in their destructive tendencies, but even then, trainers should exercise care. So I love the idea of that. Like if a forest fire appears, like afterwards you're gonna see all these Mastions hanging out in the area. That's pretty cool. And then under trivia, I like this. Their name is derived from Malleus and Combustion, which is hammer and combustion in Latin. So it's hammer and combustion. They have kind of the hammer-like head, so that's pretty cool. And then the other thing is, it says in the trivia, it has the highest base attack of all Temtem. I didn't know that. It has the highest base attack, so that might be one of the reasons that it works in the meta so much.
Yeah, dang. Pyromaniac is nasty with all of its abilities.
It doesn't have any egg moves, right?
I don't believe so.
Not currently, anyway.
Yep, no egg moves. Oh wait, yeah, no egg moves. It can learn. It has a huge. It's funny because it only can learn like 6 or 7 moves itself, but then it has access to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different training courses. So that's a wide variety of access to moves.
Usability.
Most of the time you see Mastion, it's going to be running Energy Drink or Fire Chip. I feel like Energy Drink's a better item. And then its moves are going to be Major Slash, Meteor Swarm, Embers, and Cage. There's a very rare variant of Mastion with Rage Mastion. Because Mastion does such a good job of like threatening out the things that it's meant to attack, that most of the time people aren't going to keep a Gaialis or something in against it. So it attacks turn 1 and then it rages turn 2 and then swaps out and later comes back to hit really hard. But people who run Rage Mastion are insane gamblers. Like it's such a risky play. Like, I mean, Mastion with Rage, great if you can get that bonus attack because it's going to hit out of the wazoo. But it's just so terrifying to try and go for that on a turn 2.
Why don't we, Kennedy, let's just give you like 2 minutes and that'll leave us a good 15-20 minutes for the TVs. Do you want to talk about your challenges? I'm going to refill my cup of coffee while you do so. So you have until I'm back to get through your challenges.
Actually, no, I don't want to talk about my challenges because I didn't play rank this week, unfortunately.
Oh, no. Well, let people know what the challenge was. I don't know if you have a new challenge. I'll be right back.
I like giving out the same challenge until I beat it because it's not fair for me. Just like, all right, you guys did this and move on to the next one. So the challenge of last week was to beat a Tim or defeat a Tim on ladder and win a game while using Earthwave to knock out a Tim on ladder. And the reason we did this was a funny joke of Earthwave hello to Kisiwa, or just waving hello and saying Kisiwa sends its regards, being hyper edgy and doing that. For me, I kind of derped out on this challenge, and I was just like, Thursday night I was remembering I had to do the challenge. I was like, all right, let me find something to TV train with Earthwave and get this going. I was like, okay, I think I'll teach Earthwave to Smazzy and try and do something with that. And as I was like getting ready to get a Madrid and start going through the wild breeding process to try and get Earthwave over onto Smazzy, I saw that Gaialis learned Earthwave, and I was like, wait a second, I have a Gaialis. And then I saw my Gaialis has Earthwave as a egg move on it that the person who I bought it from put it on there, and I was just like, look at this. And then so I was like, I don't have to play Thursday night. I'll just, do it Friday night. And then Friday night, I ended up live streaming D&D until like 10:30 at night. And last night, I was just like, I'm not going to play any rank tonight. And so I didn't end up tackling the challenge. So I have the Tim already TV trained. This week, I'll be trying to knock out Tim's using Earthwave and see how that goes. I don't know if Vonlin's back yet.
I'm back.
But,
yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, you are here. The reason why I think this is just a little hard is Earthwave is very predictable if you know it's coming. It's a 3-turn hold. And once it's used, it's going to be another 3 turns before it comes back online.
I remembered why I was getting my coffee. I forgot one exciting thing because I wasn't on last week. It's been a while. I didn't only run from Lumas. I did catch a Lumakaku since the last time I was on TemTalk. So I do have that bit of exciting. I have that at least. But,
nice.
Nice. I caught 2 Lumakakus.
Did you had to give them both away, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't. Did you finish up everything with the challenges? Should we go to the main topic?
I did. Let's jump into the main topic of the week.
My favorite part of the show, right? I get to play this clip.
It is good sounding.
A battle and violin hype music. All right. So the main topic we wanted to cover, we realized that most people probably know about TV training, but not everyone does. And when it's one of the most common questions I get from new players is they ask a lot about TV training. We've never done an episode looking at and talking about TV training really in depth. So I figured for the last little bit of the show here, we would cover it and something that we can link back to people in the future if they want to learn more about TVs. And maybe it's just a few minute details that even all these experienced players don't know about. So on a high level, just what are TVs? Pop quiz for either of you two. Do you know exactly what TV and SV each stands for?
Ooh, I do. Call on me.
Okay, Gaijin, do you know it?
Yeah.
Do you both confidently know it?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Let the people know.
I'm going to let Gaijin say.
Single value and trained value.
Well done. I had to look up SV. I forgot what SV stood for.
Of course you did.
I had to look it up.
As far as like what TVs and we've covered SVs before when we did our
just talk about TVs. Let's not worry about SVs today.
Yeah, TVs are training values, and the idea behind these comes from Pokemon. Is like one of the games that first started these was a creature that you collect and you train with is going to be stronger than a creature of the equivalent level that you just capture and you don't do any training with. So the more a Tim fights, the stronger it gets as it gets these training values that boost its stats. It gets training values from different things in the world that it defeats is the basic idea. So if you defeat a Tim that is a very good special attacker, your Tim gets a little bit better at being a special attacker and gets 1 training value for it. Mechanically, how this functions is your Tim can have 1,000 training value.
Let me stop you right there before you get too far. Just so people, as a summary before we get to that point. So your Tim has a final stat like HP, and there's just how TVs play into it is there's 4 things that determine its final stat. And that it's SV, its inherent stat, it's TVs that we're talking about, how high they are, and then the Temtem species base stat, and then the Temtem's level. And all 4 of those have some kind of complicated formula that result in its final stat. And we don't know the exact formula. What we do know is the effect is dependent on level as well as TVs. And so at lower levels, more TVs are needed to impact stats, and at higher levels, less TV is needed. So if you want to increase your base stat at level 1, you're going to need way more TVs and speed. And if you're at level 100, you're not going to need that many TVs. So it means our base stats are, the final total stats are really going to get exponentially higher as these TemTem level up. And so generally speaking, at our current level cap of 48, this isn't an exact formula, but in general, according to the Wikipedia at least, roughly you get one base stat value for every 10 TVs or so, roughly speaking. And then Kenny was just talking about how you can have a total of 1,000 TVs, but you can only train each TV up to 500 maximum. Any other stuff about on the exact math on that, Kennedy, or something? I want to make sure I cover the base mechanics of it.
Yeah. So with that, I just want to say there are very choice places to put your TVs and why you put them places. Yeah, and those breakpoints are something I would just want to cover, and then I'll let you guys.
Yeah, no, Gord, that's a great topic. Go right ahead.
So if you put 500 TVs into a TemTem speed, a lot of those TVs could potentially be wasted because once you're moving faster than other TEMs, it doesn't matter how exponentially faster you're moving, you're still going to go first. So unless you're using a move like Hyperkinetic Strike, which does more damage based on how high your TemTem speed is, normally there are breakpoints of like there's an effectiveness of where you want to get your speed to, and you want to be just faster than these things. And then because you're limited in the 1,000 TVs you can put to things, you want to put all of those rest of the TVs in someplace else where you're going to get huge values for them. So for the most part, there's no breakpoint on HP. HP is a stat that is kind of king right now, where there is, if you choose to put HP in a TEM is always going to be able to use HP.
And I think simply put, usually speaking, if you're trying to be more defensive, what I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, but what I've heard is that it's almost, HP is always more valuable than special defense and defense in general. In general, you'll get more out of it. Not to say that you don't TV train defense and special defense sometimes, but generally, if you're trying to make a TEM tankier, HP is the place to go to in a general sense. There's always exceptions to all of this, and there's a lot of meta to all of this, but...
The next breakpoint is with stamina. Stamina is going to vary on the moves that you are running on your TEMs, but in general, with how the stamina formula gives you back stamina, it's based on the TemTem's base amount of stamina if each turn that they passively get. And then if you rest, you get a percentage of your stamina back if you have your TemTem set to, if you tell your TemTem to rest for that turn. To get the most efficiency out of both of these, the breakpoint for stamina that you want is normally 61 stamina for your team if you choose to invest in stamina.
I want to pause on this because I think out of anything out of TVs, this is the most important thing I recently learned is that 61 breakpoint for stamina. If you can get your base, we're talking about your base stamina, you use a calculator, but if your total final stamina stat can get up to 61, you gain one more stamina per turn than you would have if you're at 60. So a lot. One more or just more? True. What is it?
I believe that's true. But I mean, percentage-wise, with how the formulas work, you're going to get the best amount back from resting and per turn.
What I found out from like Huron Crane and Tsubaki and some others in the Name and Trans is a lot of good TV builds. You bring stamina to 61 right now in the current meta. Is you get that 61 stamina because that gives you extra stamina per turn. Kenny, I don't want to go too much more through breakpoints just because I want to go over the training spots and have times for that. And I think stamina is the really big one. Do you have any really quick other stats?
The last one I'm going to say is speed. Speed's the other one that has an important breakpoint. If you want to move faster than Gaialis, an uninvested Gaialis, your breakpoint is 111. Speed is you need to put enough TVs into your speed to get your TemTem speed to 111. Anything less than or more than that can potentially be seen as wasted TVs. You can go to 112 to try and outspeed TEMs that just get to 111 to outspeed Gaialis. but be very choice in why you choose to do that.
Before I say more, me and Kenny are going crazy with this. Gaijin, you gotta. We'll pause here to let you. I don't know if it's maybe not the most interesting topic, so I don't know if you have anything you're really trying to get in. But any comments on TV training before I keep going?
I haven't really done much TV training other than TV training for my Nuzlocke challenge. I don't really have a lot of knowledge on the topic, and I know which Temtem give what, but other than that, not really the guy to ask.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, hopefully you can learn some insights yourself from some of this. I don't know. A few quick bullet points that I wanted to make sure to mention. Of course, there's fruits that you can buy and will raise and lower your stats by 20 TVs. So if you don't want to train,
I'm gonna step away for a quick second.
Right on. If you don't want to train TVs, you can buy a fruit to level it by 20. Or if you overtrain a TV, you can lower it by 20. So when Kisiwa drops and the level cap changes and you need to retrain, we're all going to be buying lots of fruits. I just had a quick story note. If you are a newer player listening to this now or in the future, do not worry about TVs playing through the storyline. TVs is for once you beat the game and you're breeding competitive tests.
Whoa!
You think TV?
Whoa! Hold the phone, man. No, not even if you're Nuzlocking. If you want to have an easier time with dojos and just battles in general, I think TV training is still an important thing to, start learning and practicing through the story. Because as you progress, you're going to do battles with everything, and you're going to get randomized TVs anyway. But if you can try to clean those up a little and get them where they need to be, it can be very helpful.
I should clarify. All by what I really mean by that is don't get stressed out by it. What I've seen new players do on Reddit and in chat is they'd be like, "Oh man, I didn't know about TVs, and I have these really messy TVs. Do I need to stop playing with this tem and get a different tem to go through this?" No, you can keep using that tem to get through the story. That's kind of more than anything. I think that's what I'm trying to say is, if you've been randomly battling with your starter or some other temtem and you have random TVs, that temtem isn't useless for the storyline. You can beat the storyline with that temtem.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of my takeaway.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is don't get stressed out about it. But yeah, you are right. If you want to do better for a dojo or make the game easier, by all means be aware of them and train them. But don't think that you have to go back and recatch and retrain your whole team to beat the story.
Yeah, no, a perfectly trained Temtem is certainly not a requirement to beat the story. It can absolutely help, but you're also not going to get that. Because as you're playing through the story, you will encounter Temtem that you want to capture, and that'll give you TVs. You will encounter Temtem or tamers you have to battle, and those will give you TVs. So it's impossible to get the perfect set of TVs playing through the story. You're gonna get randomized TVs. It's just how it works. So don't focus on it inherently, but trying to get the right TVs in the right spot can be beneficial to gameplay.
That's the perfect way to put it. That's very, very well said. A few other quick tips here. There are some gear items that help with training TVs. Proteins is the most important. It doubles your TV gain. You can get it in the Banyu tree, so go ahead and get proteins if you didn't. You missed it. I had to go back and get mine. I missed it the first time through. Coward's Cloak. If a Temtem has Coward's Cloak is on the bench, it will get the TV bonuses. So you can TV train up to 3 Temtem at a time. If you want to know what TV yields a Temtem gives, you can look them up on the Wikipedia. And so with the little bit of time we have left here, what I wanted to do was just go over the different spots to TV train. So I'm going to pull up temtactics.gg/map. It's a great resource. I absolutely love it. Excuse me here. Okay, so here we go. So I got it pulled up. So for stamina, my favorite place to train it, and you guys let me know if you have a different place, but I'm going to go through my favorite places to train each of these stats very, very, very quickly. Tateru is my favorite to train. Sorry, Gaijinbu. But Tateru, sorry. So Tateru has 100% spawn here. If you're looking on the map in Denzin, right north of Psy Park, you can get 100% spawn rate, and it gives +2 stamina. So with proteins, you can get 4, and you can get 1 to 2 spawning at a time. So per encounter, you can get up to 8 stamina per encounter. And then special defense I like to personally train FOMU up here on this little island in the corner for the same reason. FOMUs give 2 special defense. They have 100% spawn rate in the top right corner of dens across the water in the northeast corner. And then the other good training spot on this map is HP. Psypats spawn 100% down here, and they give 3 HP. So hands down, this is the best place to train HP. You can get 12 HP with proteins per encounter if you get double Psypats. Before I switch to a different part of the map, you got any differences for these 3 training areas? Do you guys do anything differently yourselves, or?
I mean, Tataru and Psypat, absolutely. I think FOMU is definitely the best for special defense. I don't know if there's anything actually better than that doesn't give you something else. There are some that give you special defense and something else, which could help you, you know.
There's a few other places that people will train special defense, but that's my personal favorite.
Yeah.
So
I say be just very active and aware of the TVs you are creating for your TemTalk. Don't go and train. Don't go and make like a TV spread. And it's like, okay, well, I need this, and then I need this, and then you go and do each of those individually. Once you get the TV spread for your Tims, I always say train at least 3 at the same time.
Yeah.
And there's some Tims that give 2 in one stat and then 1 in another stat. And so let's say you need stamina and HP. There are Tims that give, both. Well, no, there's not. But there are Tims that give, like stamina and speed, or stamina and special attack. And going to an area where it gives both of those, you're essentially doubling the rate.
That's the advanced TV training. You just be careful with that, but there is potential to train multiple TVs at once.
Yeah, and pay attention to the TVs your Tims are getting as you're going through the process.
To continue to training Pierce, to go to the rest of the spots, there's a lot of good spots on Tucumã. So for speed, I always come to the mines of Mictlan, and I train Buns and Madrids. They're 70 and 5% spawn, so 3 out of 4 Tems will be one of these 2. And Buns give 2 speed, and Madrids give 3 speed. And they're very easy to knock out with type advantage, so you can get... you just have to be careful not to kill the Vol Wars that spawn 25% of the time. But that's I like to train speed.
That's interesting. I would suggest on Tucumã, the grass patch near the airship landing, right above the ruins of
Mushi.
Yeah, Orifil and Mushi. There's a
let me pause right there, because I'm going to go change the map to that, but before I do, I want to show off this Laponite spot, and I'm going to go find the spot you're talking about.
Okay, go ahead and hit up
quickly say, this is where I like to train defense. The Laponites down here, to the east in the mines, you can get a 90% spawn of Laponite or Azarak, and they get 2 and 3 defense. So let me, I just want to throw that out quick. So you guys are saying on Tucumã, you're saying, what's the Orfil and Mushies? So the 90, okay, where's 45 and 45%? Yeah, you're right. This is an interesting spot. Okay.
There's only a 10% chance of blues, and if you run into a blues and you need HP, you can still kill it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you can just, And they're not hard to kill if you have like a Voloren on your team and just wind them down with
Oh yeah,
a little bit of wind bursts. And then right when you finish that one, if you need Tims that need special attack, you can go right north to the Toxolotl spawn with the same Voloren. And
I think hands down, this is the best place to farm special attack. This little island in the middle with Toxolotl, and then north of Tucumã, there's 100% spawn of Toxolotls. And Voloren can one-shot him with wind moves, and Voloren's immune to their toxic farewell. So otherwise, you're going to slowly take damage even from one-shotting. So Voloren can train infinitely here very well for special attack.
What I suggest for doing for TV training, the quicker you're getting into encounters, the better. I keep a Kinu with Benefactor and Revitalize. On the always in my party as like the 3rd slot of my party, and whenever the Tim I'm using has taken too much chip damage, I just swap in the Kinu and revitalize it and just keep going.
Right. Oh, that's great.
So even though some of these spots are far away from Tim stations or Temporiums, if you plan that you're going to be far from a Temporium, you can knock this out without ever having to like keep running back and forth over and over.
the last spot here is for training attack. I like coming here to Arc Volcano. Outside of it, in the southwest corner where you rock hop, where you free 10 Magnuses. Magnus and Mastodon spawn at 100%, and they're 2 and 3 attack, so it's very easy to get attack. And I will say that you do get TVs for capturing Tems. So if you want to combine your free Tem with your TV training, you can 100% do that with the Mastodons. Or even the Platypets. I forget, Platypets give a special attack. So you can TV train while free Temming Platypets or Mastodons if you need attack or special attack. That's all I got on TV training. You guys got anything else real quick?
Not me.
No.
I don't do a lot of it.
Yeah, the last thing I will mention, if we put the Tem Tactics up on the screen. Also, another really useful tool is tem.team. And you can use this to play around with different TV spreads on your team and put 45 TVs into a stat and then see what that looks like on your Tem when it gets to max level. The other thing that was discussed, and y'all said this, and then I'll finally just drop this topic. People asked what exactly or what level Krima plans to up the level cap to in the Kisiwa patch, so people can start theory crafting breakpoints for TV spreads. And y'all said the fun of the game is figuring that out as it develops. We're not planning on releasing information on what the level cap will be. So this is going to be an ever-evolving thing. And I think I encourage everybody to experiment around with their own TV spreads and their own reasoning for why they put their TVs where you put them. Sometimes you make mistakes, but sometimes you learn stuff. So, and it's and the breakpoints only are for the meta. If you introduce something new, to the meta that people aren't expecting, the breakpoints aren't relevant. If the breakpoint is 111 speed, you run 112 speed to beat the breakpoint of other people running the speed. That calculations of whatever the other person making are immediately off because they're just thinking okay, well, I'm going to go faster. I can do this. I can stay in. Holy crap! He hit my Tem before I did the thing, and now I'm dead. So,
yeah, I think it's crucial to do your own messing around with TVs because you can just copy and paste someone else's that you've seen or that they've told you, but you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to learn why they are that way or why those were chosen. So I think that's a decent place to start, is trying something you've seen or somebody else's maybe, but mixing it up and trying to do something new, I think, is also good for your own personal knowledge if competitive is something you want to get into, and just in general, because otherwise if everybody's using the same TVs on everything, it's not really that exciting.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think that covers the topic good. Let's go right into the closing. I promised you guys a fairly on-time show. Of course, we went 4 minutes over, but that's not so bad. So with the closings, we'll do our little around the table plugs quick. The show itself you can find in any podcast app searching TemTalk. And I finally figured out how to change the URL on YouTube, so I can give the URL for the YouTube to check past episodes. It's youtube.com/c/TemTalk. So fairly easy to find now. Gaijinbu, where can people find more of your lovely face?
Well, you can always find me on Twitch. I do have a Twitter and Instagram, but I don't really use them that much. I'm trying to get better at social media. I'm good at talking. I'm bad at tweeting. But you can find me basically on all those social media platforms except Facebook at It's Gaijinbu. So ITSGAIJINBUU. It's Gaijinbu. And that's where people can find me. Also, one thing before Kennedy, and I'm sorry, Cloudy just dropped in and mentioned a tweet from TemTem, which this is something a lot of people know, but just in case people listening to the podcast don't know, TemTem has talked about before that they will increase the price of the game as they continue to increase the content in the game. So TemTem will be seeing an increase once Kisiwa drops. So if you don't have it yet and you've been thinking about it, pick it up. Also, Kennedy.
Cutting live news. I'm glad that just came in. Yeah, I just pulled up the tweet really quick. They said, as we mentioned on our early access release, TemTalk's price will increase as we get closer to Kisiwa. We're reminding you beforehand so you can make an informed choice. The price will go from $35 to $37.50, and we'll also adjust it in other currencies. I gotta say, I'm surprised. I thought it would go up by $5. I'm surprised it's only $2.50. But if you haven't bought Temtem yet and you're thinking about it, buy it now. Save the $2.50. If you got it in the Steam Summer Sale, you would have got a $5 discount. But I think that's done now, right?
Yeah, that's all over now. Yeah.
All right, Kennedy, go ahead, sir.
You can find me on Twitter at itsboogaijin.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. You can find me on Twitter at PresBKennedy, spelled just, well, actually, you aren't as good of a broadcaster as Dangio Vonlin. Dangio had our names on stream.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Yep.
Really? You think I'm not as good as a broadcaster as Dangio? Huh. All right. Well, Kennedy's muted now, so no one can hear him anymore. We'll see if he backtalks me again.
Anyway, it's spelled PresBKennedy. I live stream D&D on YouTube, and you can find my YouTube channel on youtube.com/c/PresBKennedy. I live stream every weekend. This weekend, I'm live streaming literally all the time. I'm going to be live streaming a session tonight. I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow, which is Sunday. And I just played the game Friday because I'm insane and I have no social life.
I will say I did drop in to watch one of the D&D streams, and it was a really good time. Yeah. So if any of that stuff interests you guys, definitely check out Kennedy's streams. They're very enjoyable.
For those that don't know, Kenny puts in a lot of work into his D&D campaigns that he's running.
Yes, he does.
You have custom maps, you have sound clips, you have a lot of stuff planned out. A lot of that. It's if you're a very hardcore D&D lover, you'll like what he's doing over there.
Absolutely.
Oh, now you guys are making me blush. Thank
you. I'll just remind people before we get out of here, I also stream Temtem Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays. Twitch.tv/Vonlin, and all my social media links are there. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for joining us. See you next week, 11 a.m. Central.
I missed Dan singing for us.